Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to our very first edition of Accelerated Leadership. Do you see what I did there with the X? Yeah. So, um, but before we dig into the first thing that has been stirring in me the past couple of weeks, I want to just remind everybody that this Wednesday is the final week of Stranger Things, and I'm going to be talking about friendships, how to be a good friend, how to look out for other people. There's some really good things to pull from the Netflix series Stranger Things in regards to that. And also, this Sunday afternoon slash early evening, for anybody that is able to join me at my house, I'm going to cook some chili. I'm going to do a bonfire in the backyard and just kind of hang out. So around 4:30, 5 o'clock or so. And I'm going to announce that and invite all the students as well tomorrow night. So really looking forward to that. Great weather for that. So the first topic that I want to talk about in accelerated leadership is passion. Passion is something that is an essential for us to grasp as leaders at the exchange. Passion is the fuel that we need to reach our destination. And I was really thinking about passion the past couple of days. I'm sure you guys have heard about the tragedy that happened this past week with two 19-year-old young men from Lawrenceville who somehow got their hands on some fentanyl. And you guys know that just a small dose of fentanyl can kill you. And so these two guys had grown up together and apparently got drugs from the same dealer, and it ended up killing them. Just a couple of nights ago, the parents went in and found them cold. And here's what got my attention about that. Both of them started using drugs, opioids, when they were in middle school as 12-year-olds. They were dealing with stress, they were dealing with anxiety. One of the guys named Dustin Manning started using opioids to deal with depression, had been in and out of treatment centers over the past several years. The other guy, Joe Abraham, started using opioids to deal with just overwhelming stress due to a couple of friends that he had lost. And here's the thing that I was thinking about is not only did they physically die, but also their potential died as well, because I believe they had great potential as young men. And I wonder if they had anybody speaking life into them. I wonder if they had a youth group that they were a part of. I wonder if they had friends that invited them to church. I wonder if they had people that just encouraged them and told them that there's a purpose to live for, that God has placed something on the inside of them. And he's given them plans of a future and a hope for the things to come. I wonder about those things, because here's what I do know is that we have students, middle and high school students, that are dealing with the same types of pressures that they are. Excuse me, just sorry about that. I had to take a phone call. So I was thinking about those guys, and that really that fuels me. That is my passion, is to keep middle and high school students from losing hope and ending up in the same scenario that those two guys did. And when we think about passion, we have to understand that number one, passion creates energy, and energy is contagious. It will impact the others around us. And so, what are you giving off when you come and serve at the exchange? Do you give off passion and energy? Do you give others hope? Or are you bringing stress? Are you bringing depression? Are you bringing just the weights and the cares of this world in, and we're able to read it on your face? Or are you preparing yourself before you get to the exchange? Are you praying? Are you listening to worship music? Are you just in your spirit, man? Are you getting ready for God to move? Or do you just kind of show up however, carrying whatever from the day? Because I think it's important for us as leaders to bring the energy, to bring the passion authentically. And the second thing that I know about passion is that passion drives our vision. We've got to have a vision. We've got to have a preferred future in mind for our ministry and for our students. And when we get to the end of ourselves, when we just think that we can't go on, that we can't do it anymore, the passion is what drives us to get to that vision. And so some things that I kind of listed out here, when we get to places where we just kind of feel our passion diminishing, and that's normal as a leader to feel sometimes in different seasons our passion kind of diminish and get less and less, but it's important that we catch it before it leads to burnout. And so here are some signs that possibly your passion is beginning to diminish. When serving no longer feels like a calling, but more like a chore. When you might some weeks think, oh gosh, I just wish I didn't have to go to the exchange tonight. I wish that I could just go home and prop my feet up and watch TV. I'm just not feeling it tonight. Or I just can't wait to get out of here and get home. I'm tired. And then you kind of communicate that with body language and verbiage that you use around other people. That's communicated to other people and they kind of pick up on it. Well, that's a sign that your passion is diminishing. Maybe you just feel like that there's a lot of distractions that come your way. There's a lot of things and scenarios that would try to keep you from being at the exchange. Maybe it's a headache, or maybe it's something that's going on at work. Maybe somebody else has invited you to something that's going on in the community, or whatever it might be. You just sense a lot of distractions coming your way to stand in the way of what is going on at the exchange and your responsibilities as a leader. When that happens, then that's a sign that your passion is beginning to diminish, because we have to prioritize our responsibilities, because it's kingdom work that we're doing. We're not working for me. We're not working for the church. We're working for our King, and it's kingdom work, and it's a privilege. And so when our passion begins to diminish, we start to view those responsibilities as, oh, well, if I get around to it, it's not that big of a deal. Somebody else will step in and make it happen if I don't. And that's not the case at all, because we never know when God might want to use us in the moment, and it happens to be a week that we just thought that it's not a big deal if we just sit it out, or somebody else can cover my responsibilities. And that might be the week that God had arranged a moment with us and a student, or us and another leader. The third thing that is a signal for me that my passion is diminishing is when I just start to ask myself, am I really making a difference? Is it really that big of a deal that I look over the life group discussion questions? Is it really that big of a deal that I prepare and pray for my students that are in my group? Is it that big of a deal? And why am I even doing this anyway? When I start asking those questions and wondering things like that, that's a sign that my passion is diminishing. And if we don't catch it early enough, it will lead to burnout. So what do you do when you sense your passion is diminishing? Number one, you got to read your Bible. You've got to stay connected to the source. You've got to read His Word. You got to read God's Word and stay connected. Number two, I recommend you ask someone to pray for you. Ask another leader, ask a peer, somebody that you trust, not somebody that's going to go and gossip about your issues and the hard time that you're having, but somebody that you can trust that's going to listen to you and encourage you to keep going. Number three, and I do this one all the time, is I hang out with a key student. Ask them, hey, you want to go to Starbucks? You want to go catch a movie? You want to go sit down at McDonald's? You hang out with a student that is going to encourage you, that's going to bring life into you, that's going to remind you again why it is that you do what you do. And the student doesn't even know that they're providing that to you. But you know deep down at your core that your passion is beginning to stir again. Number four, Eliminate the energy suckers. We all have people in our lives that just drain our energy. They just suck the life out of us. They are just burdensome. And eliminate those people. Don't eliminate them from the face of the earth, but eliminate their influence in your life from draining your energy and your passion. It might be a sin pattern. It might be somebody that that you need to say, you know what? You're not a positive influence in my life right now, so I'm going to have to draw a line. It might be a place, it might be an activity that you've been a part of, but whatever it is, you got to get the boldness in you to eliminate that. And then lastly, you got to put your vision in front of you. Habakkuk chapter 2 says to write the vision down and make it plain. I believe that he understood the power of writing goals and a vision down and keeping them in front of you to go after. So what does that look like for us? Well, it might look like getting a post-it note and writing some students' names down and putting it in our bathroom mirror so that we can see them and pray for them every morning when we're getting ready. It might be taking an index card and writing some prayer requests from students down and keeping it in our car so we see it while we're on the way to work or on the way to school. It might mean taking some pictures of students and putting it on the background of your phone and making it different every day so that your heart goes in that direction. So those are just some ideas to keep your passion stirred. Some personal questions, though, that I want you to consider this week. Number one, ask yourself, am I consistent in my serving responsibilities at the exchange? Am I consistent? In other words, am I there every week? Am I showing up? Am I giving 110% every week? If not, you might want to take a look at your passion level. I understand things come up, people get sick, but that's every now and then. It is not a consistent habit if you're passionate about what you're doing. Number two, am I doing the best I can do? With whatever area that you're serving in, are you doing the best you can do? Because if you're not doing the best you can do, if you're not doing things with excellence, then there might be an issue with your passion level. And then number three, am I leading by example? The same passion that I would like to see in other people, am I bringing that same level of passion to the table myself? If not, then there might be an issue with you needing to stir your passion. So that's all for this edition of Accelerated Leadership. We'll be discussing and recapping this at our next leaders meeting on November the 12th. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys with your energy and your passion tomorrow for the conclusion of Stranger Things. You guys have a great day and happy Halloween. Oh, and I almost forgot, in case you're still watching, if you want a gift card, then what I'd like for you to do is reply all to the email that this video's link was in with the top thing that you do when you sense your passion beginning to diminish. What do you do to stir that passion again? The first person to reply all to the email is going to get a gift card tomorrow night. So have a great day.